Hi.
That was so weird. It literally like just kicked me out of Zoom. Did it kick you out?
No, I was there all by myself. All of a sudden, my face appeared on the screen, and it said one participant. And I figured, okay.
Well, all of a sudden you froze. You had like this gorgeous smile on your face, and you're like frozen in this smile. And I'm like, you're frozen. You're frozen. I'm like, Mia, Mia. And then all of a sudden, like my whole screen just went blank, and it went, do you want to join this meeting? I'm like, join it. I was already in it.
Well, I said also it was my face. I said one participant. I heard, hello, hello.
That's so weird. That was so weird. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, and like Mike is sitting right here in the office with me, and he's like, I'm connected. I don't know why you got kicked out. That was so weird.
And I'm not streaming.
And you're not streaming. Exactly. Oh my God.
No, it continued recording too, so I don't know what happened. Like I said, there's going to be a minute of me going, hello.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so we'll get back to it. So we were talking about how to adjust with other people. So we were talking about mind reading, and I said about how as females, we constantly do this with people, and we have to drop that. No one can read our mind. They literally cannot read our minds. They will never know how you feel unless you tell them. And I mean, how many times do you have that conversation with people, friends that you know, with your kids, with your family? It's like, well, have you told them how you feel about this? It's like, no, well, you know, they should just know. That's an unhealthy expectation. 100%. They're not going to know. It's as simple as that. Just telling them. When you stop expecting people to be a certain way, you can begin to appreciate them. Pay close attention and respect people for who they are and not for who you want them to be. And I feel in you know, with younger girls, especially getting into relationships, it's like, you know, I can change them. It's like, why are you expecting them to be something that they're not? It's never going to happen. Always going to backfire. Constantly, it's going to be a disappointment. So every human being is remarkable. It just takes patient set of eyes to see it. 100%. Okay, this is a big one. And how many times does this happen? Release your expectations of events. And you brought this up earlier. Just like setting expectations for others, when you put all of your hopes and dreams into the outcome of a specific event, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Try to enter into events for the intrinsic value of the situation, not for the outcome you hope to produce. So example, going on a date because the person seems interesting and you've been dying to try the new restaurant they suggested. Yes, that's wonderful. That is a great expectation of an event. Unreasonable would be going on a date because you are looking for a partner and you're desperate to get married, so you're hoping this one will be the one. Bad expectation. You're only going to be disappointed in that. And the guy's going to run really quickly out the door. So how to adjust? Stay focused on what attracted you to the participant in a specific event or situation, apart from potential outcomes. Make a list of all the positive things you can gain from the experience itself and what emotions it could bring into your life. So for example, for a potential date, it feels exciting to meet new people. I feel happy about getting to go out. It's been a while. I'm ecstatic about wearing my new dress. So it's like, what are the things for the event that you're going to, whatever that situation is, that are positive, that you really, the expectations are true and real. So next, we're going to look at standards versus expectations. I have to tell you, so many people feel like standards and expectations are interchangeable or they're one and the same, and they're not. So standards, they are a set of guidelines or ideas of how you will conduct yourself. So for example, I have high standards for my relationship when it comes to honesty. That's a standard. You want honesty in your relationship. We have standards of how we want to do things. When we have high standards, you expect to be treated with the highest of regard. However, when your standards are low, it suggests that you're lacking self-esteem. And we see this sometimes with people where they let people walk all over them. Their standards are low as opposed to being higher. or at a place where they should be. In such instances, you probably allow yourself to fall prey to other people's influence, which happens all the time. We see it. As such, your personal standards are intricately intertwined with your level of self-esteem. Therefore, to raise your self-esteem requires you first begin by raising your personal standards. So that's standards. Expectations are something that are different, which we've just gone through. These are certain ideas about how we would like a situation to turn out or how we would like other people to behave. So those are the expectations. So that's what makes them so different. If you have high expectations, people automatically assume you're an overachiever. And if you have average or low expectations, you're considered lazy. Those are expectations that are put out there in society, and none of them are true. There are plenty of things wrong with these two assumptions. Of course there is. If you have high expectations for yourself, there's a good chance that you are the type of person who will push yourself to always do your best. While outsiders might see you as a person who is put together and good at everything, only you know what it's like to get there. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, plenty of days, you never wanting to give up. So we can have high expectations for ourselves, and that's fine. High standards, high expectations. But the problem is when those high expectations, when it becomes something that we're going after, and that's perfectionism. Okay? So everyone has expectations and standards, thank goodness. It's the degree of expectations that differs from person to person. So that's why we went through that list of unrealistic and realistic expectations for ourselves and what we put on others. So some people hold themselves and others to extremely high standards, while others just want the bare minimum needed to get by. That is for sure. Your personal standards are reflected in how you treat yourself and also in how you treat other people. They are also reflected in how you're expected to be treated by other people. So those are your standards. If expectations and standards match up, then things are smooth. However, if they don't align, this is where trouble comes into play. Okay, so if someone had very low standards of themselves, but their expectations were really high, you can see that this is just not going to match ever. And this person is always going to be unhappy and always let down and disappointed. So the first of many downsides is that if you set high expectations and standards, you are more likely to be let down. I know that this, like, honestly, you're probably like, Heidi, that's very pessimistic. And it is. It is 100%, but it's true. Anyone who is an overachiever, or really anyone who sets any kind of goal, has experienced this. You can only push yourself so far and rely on other people so much until the limits have been reached. It's not what we want, but it happens. It does. Those high expectations and high standards, you are eventually going to explode and you will get let down. It doesn't work. So the best way to actually function in your life is to 100% have high standards. Everyone should have high standards on themselves, but your expectations should be flexible. Not high, not low, flexible. So if you keep your standards high and have healthy boundaries, you're less likely to violate your standards and your conscience. For many of us, how flexible we are in a situation depends on what kind of mood we're in, 100%. How attached we are to certain beliefs or ideas. This is where sometimes it's very flat. When we have such a belief or such an idea, an opinion is so strong in us that we're not able to be flexible in our expectations. And that's why last week, perspective is so important. Being able to step back and seeing someone else's perspective helps us in these situations and helps us to be flexible in our expectations. What fears we may feel about letting go of that belief or idea. Definitely. Those fears come in. It's like, if I let go of those expectations I have on other people, things may fall apart. That's high expectations. Okay. But how many times have you seen that being inflexible has led to even greater stress or created more conflict in your relationship? When you can't see the other side of something, you're not being flexible at all. And then all of a sudden it's like everyone's hurt. Okay, so being flexible is a conscious decision and a skill that must be practiced. And if you want to see the benefit of this, so anything in life where we are trying to better ourselves, it all comes down to practice. It always does. Being flexible in your expectations is probably one of the hardest things to do, especially when it comes down to an opinion or something that we believe in or value. This one is really hard. So there are two common ways to add more flexibility. So letting go of attachments. This is huge. Our attachments to things, ideas, and certain views can make us rigid and unrelenting. By letting go of these attachments, we are not denying our beliefs and values. We are simply giving up the mandate that we must control every aspect of them. That is a huge one and a really, really big one. There was a new leader in the Impact program, and Saturday night, so she runs it's like a day spa for kids. So kids can go and they get pampered and manicures, pedicures, their birthday parties and stuff like that. So she runs this and she has this new manager. And this was the first weekend that she had walked away from her salon to do Impact. Since she's opened, the very first time, she's just left all the parties, left everything in the hands of someone else. And so what ended up happening was one of the mothers from one of the parties complained about the party. Elizabeth's reaction to this was her expectation was so high of what her manager and her staff and everything were going to do that there was no flexibility that maybe it was the customer. It was automatically, her expectation was so high on them for everything to be perfect that she just couldn't see past. And it was amazing that this occurred while she was with all of us, because then she had a massive lesson in expectations and perspective. And a real one that happened right there. And so she was going through and so she was reading what her manager said, and this is what we did, and this is what we did. But this woman, it didn't matter what we did, she was always complaining. She always went to the other side. It was always that something was wrong. Her daughter was having fun. They stuck to all the rules, everything that Elizabeth would have done. But her expectation was that they are not allowed to screw up. And so she had to step back and let go of that attachment to that, you know what? Elizabeth could have been there and the same complaint could have happened.
Yeah.
So she had to let go of those expectations of her staff be at this level. And by doing that and shifting her perspective and all of that, she was able to let go of it. And she actually just posted in the Army about an amazing party that they had, a huge event. Her staff stepped up, everything else, and realized just how incredible they are when she let go of her expectations. So honestly, that letting go of attachments is a big one. It's a massive one. This practice is known as non-attachment. So non-attachment doesn't mean being cold or callous, not at all. It is not the same as being detached. Rather, it simply means you are not holding on and grasping, which she was. She was holding on to how she felt. I can't even tell you. For her to let go was huge. When you become non-attached, expectations and emotions will no longer control your life. And so that's what happened. When she finally let go, she was able to let go of all of those emotions and just really see the picture for what it was. And you will have a new sense of clarity that allows you to see the truth that lies at the heart of the matter, which ultimately helps you be more flexible. So that is a massive one. Oh my gosh, this is such a good one on so many levels. Letting go of being right. For me, Mia, this has been a massive one in my life. A massive one of letting go of being right. Having the last word. It's you're more focused on being right than anything else that's happening. So when we feel validated and we feel that we have sound judgment, granted, those are all positive things, being right, all of that is, but what do we get out of being right? So the need to be right leads to the need to win an argument and others need to lose. Honest to God, just that perspective right there, to people that are around me, I have a need for them to lose. I don't like that. I don't like that. Are you there? You're frozen again. Oh gosh, yeah. You're frozen again.
Okay, you are too.
Oh my goodness.
Now I can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can hear you. I can hear you now. I have no idea what's going on here.
I don't know.
This is crazy today. Okay, so what I was just talking about is for my need to be right, the sadness is shifting my perspective and realizing my need to be right means my loved ones and people around me, I have a need for them to lose. And feeling that me being right means my expectation of everyone is you lose. And that doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. And that's how easily you can shift it. When you let go of your need to be right, you open yourself up to an exciting environment where you can learn and grow. This also creates a safe space in any relationship, and you can trust the others to engage in compassionate listening and effective communication techniques. That one is huge because all of a sudden letting go of my need to be right, it's like I'm actually seeing things from a whole different perspective now. Okay, so outside expectations. I don't know if you know about this study, but in 1968, 2 researchers conducted a fascinating study that provided the extent to which teachers' expectations influence student performance. So positive expectations influence performance positively, of course, and negative expectations influence performance negatively. In educational circles, this has been termed the Pygmalion effect. So this was the study. The original research of Rosenthal and Jacobson focused on an experiment at an elementary school where students took intelligence pretests. Rosenthal and Jacobson then informed the teachers of the names of 20% of the students in the school were showing unusual potential for intellectual growth and would bloom academically within the year. Unknown to the teachers, these students were selected randomly with no relation to the initial test. So they faked it. Everything's faked. When Rosenthal and Jacobson tested the students 8 months later, they discovered that the randomly selected students who teachers thought would bloom scored significantly higher. These kids actually got smarter by the mere fact that they were expected to get smarter by their teachers. Unbelievable. That blows my mind when I think about that. And that just proves the point of expectations. This phenomenon is what psychologists call the Pygmalion effect, when our beliefs in another person's potential brings that potential to life. So it's not just school children who are susceptible to this effect. The expectations we have on our spouse, children, friends, coworkers can make that expectation a reality. And it's so true.
But it the opposite effect too, because it said when we sat down with the radiation oncologist and he wanted Michael in the room with us to let him know what the radiation will affect how it's going to affect his brain. We said, he's not listening to that. He's 10 years old. Wow. I said, you're basically giving him crutches to say, you're only going to be able to achieve this much.
Exactly.
And we said, no, you're not doing that. I said, the sky's the limit. I said, he wants to be an engineer. I said, I don't care if it's going to take him 10 years. If that's what he wants to do, I said, that's what he's going to achieve. You're not telling him no, because that's going to be the expectation he's going to have in his brain. So I said, you can't plant a seed, of expectations too high or expectations too low, because instead of if it's too low, that will be achieved.
Yes, I agree. 100%. It's the Pygmalion effect. It truly does work. Indeed, we get the most out of other people when we believe in them. Research shows that this happens because when we believe in someone, one, we treat them better than people we think will fail. This naturally happens. We give them more opportunities to succeed than we give those that we think will fail. We give them more accurate, helpful feedback than we give others. And we do more teaching because we believe it's time well spent. This in a way, is wonderful to do, but the negative side to it, where you're constantly told you're never going to amount to anything. Mm-hmm. That's an expectation you're putting on someone. It will then come to fruition. That kid will never do anything. So letting your doubts cloud your beliefs in someone or something practically ensures their failure. It does. Medical professionals call this it's nocebo effect. That's what that is. It actually has a title to it. So examples, patients who have low expectations for medical procedures or treatments tend to have poorer results than those who expect success, which is exactly what you just said, Mia, 100%. So if doctors use a treatment with a clinically verified high rate of success, but presents in a negative light, the probability of a negative outcome increases. It does. It just does. So it's the power of belief. It really is. It really is. And expectations will do that. So the power of belief. Your surroundings are absolutely crucial to your success. Think about the top 5 people you spend the most time with. What expectations do you have for you? Do they have for you? These are like huge. And like family is the biggest thing. It's like, what expectations do our family have on us? You know, if you're constantly told that, you know, you're a screw up, it's like you're irresponsible. Well, then you know what? That's what ends up showing up. So are they fueling your performance or dragging you down? So I know for myself, you know, and sometimes Mike says to me, like, you know, the expectations for the kids, I expect them to succeed. I want them to succeed, but I'm not constantly like putting those expectations so high on them that they don't succeed, right? Mm-hmm. So are you giving your friends and family the support and uplifting expectations they need? That's a huge one. It's like, these are unbelievable questions to ask yourself. What actions can you take to change these situations for the better? What can you do? What can you do? What expectations can you change in your life? So it's not your boundaries that determine your performance. It's what you believe these boundaries are. We're constantly conforming to what we think we're good or bad at. When a limiting belief creeps up into our awareness, remember that it's just a thought and that it's not necessarily true. Oh my God, those thoughts that creep in. Your expectations more than anything else in life determine your reality. When it comes to achieving your goals, if you don't believe you'll succeed, you won't. You just won't. So belief expectations that we should abandon. Oh my gosh, I love these so much. This one is huge. Life should be fair.
It should. And I fight for that every day, Heidi. I fight for it every day.
Aww.
I always fought, even at work, I said, I always fought for the underdog. You know, if someone didn't have a voice, I'd be their voice. Now, but there again, I got to a point that people started expecting that. And I said, okay, no. I'm going to teach you to have a voice for yourself. But yeah, I expected things to be fair. So yeah. I found the worst thing too, sometimes when you're in a corporation, that they have their statements, their belief statements, which does not match what's actually happening.
I agree.
And the funny thing is, my husband too, sometimes where he works, I said they will have a mission statement. And he's actually taken the plaque off the wall, put it on the desk to say, I'm sorry, it's written, it shall be, you know?
No, it's so true. Like, I love that you even brought that up with corporations. Like Bell Media is known for Bell Let's Talk, mental health. Yeah. And it doesn't exist at Bell Media. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Human resources. I've had colleagues that have gone to human resources where it's Bell Let's Talk. It's all about mental health. And they've gone with, I'm stressed. I'm thinking I want to take a leave. Like, I like, can we make a meeting with my boss? Like, this is just, it's not working. Like, I don't feel. And human resources has said, do you really want to go this route? If you actually want to, better yourself and like, how is your boss going to feel? It's like, how is your, like, there are more people that take stress leaves there and are made to feel bad for that.
Oh my goodness.
And are punished when they come back for it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that is Bell Let's Talk.
Yeah, you know what? That should be. They should let's talk and have the world find out about that. No, it's horrific. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I know in our harassment.
our Victoria, psychotherapist
Yeah.
Victoria. She actually treats a number of people from Bell, and she was the one that, like, when she found out that I worked at Bell, and I would say, you know, it's such a toxic environment, I have to get out of it. She's pulled me aside multiple times to say to me, Heidi, I know how bad it is. Like, it's not in your head. It really is that bad. I am treating people from Bell.
Yeah.
And the stories I've been told are awful,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty toxic place, but I'm not there anymore yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, even for my place too, I said, you know, I was there long enough that I was able to push the limit sometimes. And I mean, every time they changed new policies and stuff and procedures, we had to read them and sign them off. And, you know, it wasn't until I would say, you know, 5 years prior to them shutting us down that we had someone in our department that was being harassed.
Wow.
And we all saw it. It was because of her ethnicity. And we said to her, you know, I don't like how he's treating you. And I said, and he doesn't treat me that way. You should be saying something. Yeah, because we all noticed and we were very uncomfortable. And, you know, we just finished signing off that harassment policy.
Wow.
And, you know, we all went in and stuck up for her and stuff like that. But it was not done. It was basically turned around on her. So the next time we had to sign off on that harassment policy, I refused to sign it. And I figured, come talk to me. And, you know, I figured, well, and then we'll have a conversation. But they never said anything because they knew that I would say something. You know, I figured you can't have a harassment policy only on paper because it doesn't work in the real world. You either have it and you do it, or you don't have it at all. But I mean, by law, they have to. They have to have that facade. And I don't like facades. I've never lived in a facade. I am an open book. I have everything heart written on my sleeve. And I find that those things, you know, bother me. So when life has to be fair, I know it's not, but I try to make it damn close,
Yes.
you know, with my surroundings.
100%. No,
Yeah.
100%. I honestly, and that's why I didn't work well there. I didn't, you know, because I constantly pushed against things and I continually said to them, this is against any morals and values of any human being. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and I caused a lot of issues because of that, you know, but there were some things that were changed but I was then punished because of that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that did happen. So, you know, it's almost like you're segregated from the rest of the team because you're the one that is like actually standing up for what's right.
Actually, luckily in my situation, I wasn't. I mean, I did it diplomatically enough that I said they accepted it from me when I would point things out. And, you know, sometimes it was changed, sometimes it wasn't. But I mean, I was a good worker and they knew that and they appreciated that. So luckily I wasn't punished for being outspoken sometimes for the underdog. So I was lucky in that way. Yeah. But yeah, I've heard of that before too, that, you know, you're pushed out sometimes.
Yes, 100%. But it was a good thing for me to be, I wasn't pushed out. I definitely left on my own accord. I didn't belong there, and I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I fully knew that. But life should be fair. A surprising number of us subconsciously expect that life automatically will be fair. Being a person justifies that life must be fair. Life is not about being fair or unfair. It's about leading a positive life that we intend and create. So these expectations, we do need to let go of life should be fair. Because you know what? Sometimes it isn't. Some people fail. Mistakes happen. That's why life is not fair. And also, people have to go through struggle to truly learn and grow in a lot of cases. So, opportunities will fall into my lap. Nope. Just because you deserve a raise, a promotion, or a company car doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have to put in the hard work and then go after what you want. If we spend our lives expecting things to happen without action, then we set ourselves up to fail 100%. And there are, you know, sometimes I feel bad for some of the millennials that are going out into the workforce right now because they expect all these opportunities. They expect instant success. I mean, you know, we look at, you know, all of these people that, you know, they think just automatically they're just going to be a YouTube star. They're going to be a huge celebrity because we watch it happen on television. These opportunities don't. It comes down to a lot of hard work. Nothing falls in your lap. So we have to let go of that expectation. Everyone should like me. I think we've beaten that one to death, but 100% we got to let go of that one. People should agree with me. Oh my God, this is such a people to agree with you out of courtesy.
You're frozen again.
Not need to occur. Oh no, you're still there for me. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay. So something that's obvious to you might not be to someone else. Each of us comes from different experiences. We have different perspectives and we have different agendas. Let go of the expectation that people should agree. Instead, focus on how you can find solutions that give everyone what they need. So that's a good one because it's true. It's like just because you have an opinion doesn't mean everyone has to agree with you. People know what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness. This is a huge one. People can't read your mind. We've already talked about this. And what you're trying to say is not always what another hears. That is true. I constantly have put into my vocabulary, do you understand what I mean? And sometimes like when I see people going in one direction and I'll say, wait a minute, that's not what I meant. It's like, oh, but that's what I heard. So we have to let go of that. Communication isn't anything unless it's clear, and your communication won't be clear until you take the time to understand the other person's perspective. And so sometimes a lot of people get extreme, oh, you're frozen again. Oh my goodness, this is, oh no, you're still there. This one is hard because sometimes people get annoyed. Their expectations are off when it's like, well, I told you what I wanted. It's like, yeah, but I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it that way. And so the expectation is there that you should just know. It's like, but I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to fail. As I've touched upon already, if you expect to fail, you stand a higher chance of creating the very outcome you're worried about. What you will intend will happen. You and I both know this, Mia, very, very well. Don't go into a situation thinking the worst will happen, but if you fail, accept it and realize that it's a moment to teach, grow, and learn. Things will make me happy. No, things will not. Material things can make life more fun and comfortable, but they can't make you happy. When a person continually wishes or expects something to make them happy, instead of looking within, they will end up disappointed. So the perfect example, I'll be happy when I get a new car, or I go on vacation, or I get a new outfit. These things contribute to our life, but don't make a person happy. Those expectations just need to disappear. And there's way too many people. I've had people in my past that it's always that. It's always those expectations are going to make you happy. And every single time they end up more and more upset and more disappointed until all of a sudden, these are the people that generally crash and go into huge depression because none of these things are making them happy. Okay, I can change him or her. Woohoo! Who doesn't do that one? There's only one person in the world you can truly change, and that is yourself. You are never going to be able to change someone else. It's tempting to try and help or fix someone, but in the end, you need to understand it's a journey. And I know this one has been huge. Being able to step back and realizing that I can offer advice and I can offer things to people, but I can't then expect them to change because I've given them this. I have to let them have their own journey. And I know, especially as a parent, this one it was hard as the boys got older and letting go. Yes. And for me, it was changing my title from I was no longer the manager of their life to I am now the consultant of their life. It's like, this is their journey now and they're going to fall down. They can come to me and ask for advice and I can help them, but I'm not going to do it for them. And if they take a different road, I have to let them take that road. So that's a big one. So that is the end of our workshop on expectations. Thank you so much, Mia. Oh my God, the technical difficulties were crazy today. I have no idea why.
I don't know.
I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah, yeah.
Very strange. Do you have any questions, honey?
No, I said this one here, I said, it's something that I said I know is a weakness of mine, especially like I said, when, life's supposed to be fair and trying to, let go. I know even for just recently, my older son has his endocrinology appointment, and Tony and I have always been there for him for these appointments. He won't let us go to his ultrasounds anymore, but last year we were allowed to go to the endocrinologist, but now he doesn't want us to. And, he's 25 years old and he doesn't want his mommy and daddy there. Yeah. But it breaks my heart for him to be traveling to Toronto to go for these appointments all by himself, because I figured, I want to just be there for support for him. But I have to sit back. I have to respect his wishes, but waiting at home for, the results and what the doctor has to say. And I think also too, because I have a medical background, I like to be there to be able to interpret and answer questions, and ask questions to the doctor too. But like I said, I have to let him go. You're frozen again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, okay. No, I completely agree. It is interpreting, because it's like the doctors do talk in so much medical jargon, and it's like, you can do that, but it's like, you have to let go.
Gotta walk. Yeah, gotta let him go. So, let him do it on his own. That's what he wants. So I have to respect that. And so that's hard, Yeah. I've been there for both of them for so many years by their side at the medical appointments that now, he wants to do it on his own. So I have to let it be,
Exactly.
Yep. 100%. It's my problem, not his,
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's a good kid. You raised him. Oh my God.
I'm proud of both of them. I really are. Both of them have done really well. And actually, I said my son just graduated, is going to be graduating from electrical engineering. Both of them have, and the other one just graduated from his master's. They're both in December. So Michael will be crossing his stage on February 20th. And wow. I can't wait to let sick kids know where he's gone to. And even that radiation oncologist has said he won't even get through high school. Because like I said, you know what? We didn't set the expectations for him. We just let him fly. Mm-hmm. And he set his own high expectations and he got himself through. Exactly. So, to mechanical engineering. And I'm so proud of both of them.
Wow.
Like I said, the sky was the limit for both of them. And the roads that they wanted to do, when they were younger, my one son, like you said, totally different. It's hard to believe that they came from, the same parents, because they're so different. One's Tony, one's me. And one was sports minded, into hockey, soccer. The other one was into individual sports. But the funny thing is, my sister, she was with a son that went through hockey, and he only had to do hockey all the way through. They're the hockey family, blah, blah, blah. And she called me the one day. Paul, who's my older one, who liked the individual sports, he was into karate, swimming. We tried him in hockey. We tried him in soccer. He hated the group sports. And my sister called in, and Paul was more of a meek and mild kind of kid, really good-hearted. And, she called me one day and said, you should put him into hockey. It will make him a stronger person, and it's best for him, And I said, he hates it. No, you have to force him. It'd be good for him. So I figured, no. I figured, you know what? They're different. I have to respect what they want. They have to do something active, but I say they have to find it themselves, what's good for them. But I mean, for her to call me to say, you have to do that. She did that to her son. And unfortunately, right now, he's 27, and, it's very hard for him to stick up for himself and find his own road.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's hard to see my nephew like that. But my sister had to have control. And the expectations of her children is, she just kind of forced it upon them. Whereas Tony and I had a different view. It's like, you know what? You find your interest, you find your passion. It has to be something physical. You choose what's good. So, I mean, they both had their things to do, and they both flourished at it. So, setting the expectations and what road you have to choose. And my family too, when you were growing up, I'm the middle. But my sister's family was the gold standard, and that's what you had to try to achieve.
Wow.
Her kid, by the way, took a soother. But the thing is, I figured, no, and I fought it all my life. I'm just different, and I'm okay.
Yes, you are.
And as you age, you realize, and when I was younger, I tried to conform, but I really didn't do a very good job. And because I said my personality just kind of exploded out, you know,
Exactly.
awkward times during family functions, but hey, you know, but I said, now I respect where I'm at. I'm happy. We're content.
Yeah.
And, you know, when my family tries to, my outside family, you know, mother and sisters trying to put that on me, I feel, yeah, no, not going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's a long journey sometimes. But if you could teach people early, like you said,
Yes.
then it really does help with anxiety and stress of life too.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. Like seriously, if we were given this workshop when we were younger, life would have been very different.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been very different. And like that struggle had to happen, realizing that those were expectations that shouldn't exist.
No, exactly. And
Yeah.
people try to push it on you does not mean you have to accept it. Yeah, I mean, luckily I was the type of person to say thank you very much. That's your opinion, but not in my house, you know? And, you know, I never told her what she was doing to her son was incorrect because I think it was done in my business. And I find today in the world of Facebook, people now, I find it's so much in your face of life is different when a Facebook life compared to what real life is. And
Mhm.
some of these kids aren't getting that. They think what's on Facebook is real. And it's so sad to see because that's causing a lot of anxiety, I think, in people's life and thinking, I got to keep up with the Joneses. But it's not just the Joneses now. It's thousands of people now on Facebook. So it's not just the one Joneses, it's the 1,000 Joneses out there.
Exactly. I think the thing with social media is yes, we're constantly being told that social media is causing depression because everyone's trying to live up to. Well, everybody can put their best photos up, their best comments, like, oh, I'm doing this today, I'm doing that, but like, what about yesterday when you were really sad? Yes, those things do occur, but it's like the thing is I feel like we should stop taking the focus so much on what social media is doing and step back and start focusing on people getting better with themselves.
Yeah.
So that when they look at that, their perspective is different. It's like, I'm so happy that Mia went on a vacation instead of like, why aren't I going on vacation? My life isn't great because I'm not going on vacation all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like we have to take a step back. We're blaming the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like we really are. It's we gotta fix this.
Yeah.
And for me, that's why the Positive People Army is so incredibly important, because I want people to learn through these workshops, people that you're going to teach about expectations, and all of a sudden it's like someone's life could completely shift with, oh my God, I'm doing this, or these expectations have been put on me. Oh my God, they're going to shift and start to change.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how we have to do this. We got to start changing in here so that we're able to deal with all of this stuff that's around us.
Well, I remember when we first got married and the kids were younger, and we had one family member that constantly went on vacation, like 2 a year. And I mean, it's something that they had to do. And, you know, when you talk to this family, well, my wife deserves it. And I always look at it, well, we deserve it too. Why aren't we going on vacation, this and that? But, you know, life was just kind of happening. And then I would kind of feel sorry for myself. And I said, you know, we just had our different things that were happening in our life. Like I said, health-wise and stuff like that. We just couldn't. I didn't have the energy for it. And as we got through all this, then I said, I became content with my life. And then I realized, and then someone says, you know, oh, you should go on vacation now that everything's calmed down. I figured, I'm not really a vacation type of person. I like my home. And I figured it's not what I want. So I mean, years ago, I figured, yeah, that's what I should be doing. Yeah. But in actual fact, it's not what I wanted.
Yeah. Isn't that so amazing when you have that realization? Yeah. Oh my gosh. What is your sign, Mia?
I'm Scorpio.
You're Scorpio. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. No wonder we get along so well. Cancer and Scorpios get along really well. Yeah, because we're very, very similar. We're very loyal people. We love to take, like, we're very maternal, like both of us, 100%. And like you are like loyalty to like, whoo, that's a Scorpio for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like myself as a Cancer, I'm definitely my comfort a lot. Oh, you're still there. There you are. Yeah, okay. You're still there. Oh my God. No, but I do. I find I have to be pushed. I have to push myself because like I'll go on vacation for say a week, and I'm ready to come home in about 4 days. Like I am very much a homebody, and I truly do that. I have to push myself constantly to do that. But yes, thank you for sharing.
Yes, well, thank you very much for holding this personal
workshop
again.
I actually kind of love it when you and I do these meetings. We just get to chat and catch up. It's kind of fun. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Mia. So Tuesday, we'll go back to our regular schedule.
Okay.
Tuesday at 6:30, I'll send out the link. I'll send out the workshop. And I want you to figure out which workshop you want to present.
Okay.
And let me know when you want to do it. And also send me a note when you want to have a meeting this week.
Okay, great. I will.
Perfect. Excellent. Thanks, Mia.
Okay. Thank you, hon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great Sunday.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.